reset them. What's good? I'm at 525. That'll be somebody's number. I just ask those people watch, understand like this amazing aspect of using a natural gift, but I don't know, I guess you say study things of like astrology or tarots. I really don't. It's just, I just know one day, after I tell people, that I died right here in this room. When I said, when God picked me up, when I say something changed in me, like it really did. So somewhere in here, there's a topic that has to do with somebody who is this an upright? We just call it up. Yeah, it was an upright. This is the first deck I ever started like shuffling. So it was pretty much one of my favorites, even though it's had some used shoe. People don't have, like, say for instance, like multiple Bibles. Usually a person will keep like one Bible, and if they're really trying to dig in, you can tell because the pages, you can tell when somebody's reading a book. Do you understand what I mean? So when I say I started shuffling these cards over a year ago, like you could tell because I wrote on them like I wrote the other ones, but it helped me to learn to do to be more sensitive. It was helping me. It helps me to channel energy, shuffling the cards. It's not even for me to do it like as readers do, but all of a sudden, just one day, I can't remember, this stuff like just started popping on my For You page. I mean, for real, like I was nowhere into any form of a search that had to do with people doing this at all. All of a sudden one popped up, right? And it was like the person was literally talking to me. It was I can't explain it. And then I watched and then all of a sudden one day a deck of cards came across my path. It was these deck of cards. And then I would just sit there and I was just shuffling, watching vids, right? And then all of a sudden, how they were talking, it seemed familiar. So then that's when I looked it up, and then that's when I wrote the first things. This is like something I got off of watching other ones. And then another one day, I got another deck of cards. And then I started being drawn what to write on them, even in correspondence, so I can use them both as references to each other to help when I, did it. So, yada, yada, yada. This has to do something about a false leader in your life. I.e., let's say I got 3 prongs. False mother, false father, false grandpa, the next one, I would say, probably you're the person you had a relationship with, right? And then their family. And then I would go towards like your jobs or something like that, and the management that has to do with the jobs. There's somebody between your family, a person you were with, and something around like a job, a hobby, something else that you would do as like a chaser in your life. I don't know if you had a hobby like NRA, so NRA club. You have to put it where it goes. Some form of thing that you use to, in a sense, not to say escape, but wind down. Like people do. People have hobbies, instruments, something to that extent, that deep in your life. Because they needed 3. There's 3 forms of leaders in 3 different aspects of your existence. That's it. This is what I'm seeing. It's in the upright. Maybe because since you were young. Folds and look easy. Keep going. The first thing I saw when I popped over this jack was the movie The Man in the Iron Mask with Leonardo DiCaprio. These two, there has to do something with family. A twin brother, a cousin, an uncle, an aunt. Because I would have to go down the chain of command, if I had to put it this way. So, you know, like the grandparents, you know, great-grandparents, grandparents, and then it would be like, it should be like your parents, so it would be your father, right? And then your mother would be here. And then now there's 2. Then there's a chain of command in this shit. Because if I'm going with what I'm going with and down the chain of command like a family tree, there has to do something that has to do with blood and a family. And false leaders in the groups of knowing this family. See, he's saying turn inward. So, if I had to see that, you would be having to look inwardly to figure out where you fit on this. Because somehow, whatever this is that has this chain of command, I guarantee you there's wealth involved. Because I'm looking at generations. Something was handed down. And I would assume it would have to do with money. Inheritance, land, property, something that allows whatever these generations are to still have prosperity. Some people call it legacy. Well, check this out. Something happened where somebody was keeping a secret. Because I'm seeing inward, something traveled inward, and one of these bloodlines. There was somebody had a child away from this family that's been going on for generations. And I guarantee you this is going to have to do with some form of legacy, money, land, property, something. Automobiles, I don't get, family heirlooms, something. And it has to do with somebody, this is in the upright. But you're, I think, okay, I would assume this is you and your energy. You're the Queen of Swords right now. You're trying to cut through the truth. Because this is in the upright, this is in the upright, this is downright. So this is some immature person in your family that wants to be some form of a leader about some form of inheritance. Because this is what I'm going at. This is gonna have to do with inheritance and some form of competition that this person started in your life. And it has to deal. It could be 8 sleeper cells. So this could even be people that you grew up with besides just family. Family friends. Maybe people you went to school with. I mean, like that deep. In the reverse. That you detached yourself from. You separated yourself while these ruthless people were daydreaming on how to get rid of you in some way, shape, or form. I just see 3, 4, 5, and then a confirmation.
Breaking news. As appeals court blocks Trump admin from enacting new plans to slash consumer watchdog staff.
I heard cut staff. To cut somebody out of some form of inheritance, to take them away, meaning, here's the first thing that pops in my mind. Somebody got a will, and somebody did something to it. They cut somebody out who actually belongs, who deserves to have something, and this is why they planned against you, bro. I'm at 9 minutes, going on 10 minutes right now. 10 minutes right now. And 10 minutes in, this family, a group of people that has to do with some form of generation. Is that the 10 or the 9? That's the 9. And now in the 9 of Swords energy, because of some competition that you detached yourself from, because you went inward, because you wanted to find the truth about whatever this is that you be having dreams, signs, and wonders about. You're being shown by the living God because you're following your intuition against some false leader that has to do with your family because of something that involves you, that they planned against you, are now regretting what they did to you because this shit's coming to the light. 5:35. I'm gonna just leave it there so you can see the time. You can't even see nothing. 5:35. 3 of Cups in reverse. They didn't want you to have rest. It was in reverse. Under detached. Because you went inward, right? And detached. So that you can go get rest. So you took a step back so you can look. Because somehow you became the Queen of Swords. You stepped back and looked and saw something. Some form of wish fulfillment. Something happened when you took a step back and you was led to take a step back from all of this so that you can see and be shown what was being planned, and it has to do with some form of generations of people with money who were juggling you. They were juggling you, your family, friends, people, anybody who knew about this. Why? Because it's a freaking, now it's a 5 unit. It went from 3, which means now you got to go back on confirmation somewhere and figure out who the heck you were by. Because everybody who you would think was thinking on plans to go along with this false leaders, because see, under plannings, right? Just, I'm going by what I'm seeing. Was some false leader that we already been talking about that has to deal with your family who was trying to be a Queen of Swords in your life. This person was attacking you with a group of people who were juggling you your whole life. 1, 3, 2, 2. For real. I see the letter P. I see one finger. And it's just upside down. I'm just telling you now, I'm seeing, I'm being shown shapes. Plan, plot. These are people that you cared about. Another reason why you had to step back. Because even in William Shakespeare's Hamlet, remember his uncle killed his father, poisoned him, so he can take his mother in the crown. It's William Shakespeare. That's serious. Google Hamlet. You'll see it. They planned this shit. But the mother didn't, not in Hamlet. The mother didn't, I don't know. They didn't let on. It's just, I know that Hamlet was pissed that the mother was asleep with her brother. Like, he it seemed like treacherous to him. And then one day, people who were close to him told him that they saw his father's ghost. So they went to go see for themselves, and his passed off father was there. Told them about the plot. Right under rest. Even the people close to you failed to tell you about something that has to be handed down from generation to generation, because I'm following a chain of command. Somebody's great-grandpa or your great-great-parents left something to where this family has something, who is willing to get rid of you for something, and will have to do with fucking money, land, or something land, I don't give a shit if it's a business. It's something that they were willing to do. The man in the iron mask, put a thing over your face, lock your ass in a motherfucking dungeon, and take your spot, because that's the man in the iron mask. For your good fortune, I'm telling you, can't make it up. I'm telling you, see, at the bottom. Now these people are in the loss. 540. Now they're at a loss. Like, I could sit here and do more, but it's already like, I'm already at 15 minutes. So I'm gonna just load that. Like, I don't need to do any more, bro. Like, watch the movies and use the references, and it'll be just like that. It'll even be like the movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore, Whoopi Goldberg. And Sam was betrayed by a friend, remember, that he worked with over some fucking money. Just the same thing. That's what I mean. There's a false leader, friendship, anything in your existence that you detach from everybody who also knows about it, because whatever it has to do, it could be dealing with laundering the money, like I'm saying, false identity, something that is yours that they done with banks and shit. And I mean, like, dead serious. This is just like Hamlet. I'm telling you, bro. Except now more people in it. More people in this thing that's like the movie Hamlet. If I flipped it, it would be like the movie Fight Club when they had that organization. This is some don't talk about Fight Club type of cult covered doing some weird wackety doodly doodly rocky races. I'm telling you, some freaking entity group of people who motherfucking assemble, who've been planning some shit that has to do with you about something that will have to be in some form of material, something like stealing your identity on a bank account, transferring money, laundering money, something that you should not know about, but now you know about because you took a step back and went to rest and went inward. And you called on God. You called judgment on these people. And that's the truth. That's sinner. And look what's up. Look, and a Trinity too. Look how I stopped. The car stopped. Look how they stopped, bro. And that's the car guy got caught. And freaking is the Five of Pentacles. These people, I'm telling you, they're at a loss now, because you're gonna get victory. Why? Because you called on the living God. And now people see that you're the actually Queen of Pentacles, which means you're also the Queen of Swords. And now these people are in spiritual jail from taking what should have been given, and now they have to reap what they sow. It's karma. And now it's fucked up, because now the shit, you saw one just flopped up on his own and one flopped down, right? Look at it. Now you got the King of Swords with you. These people thought that they were going to capture your castle, metaphorically. If this is 5D chess, they thought they were going to sideswipe you, and they didn't realize your pieces are all now recording and ready to show up. Because they would have, at the beginning, they transformed to this. And you see now who was against you. You see who's been attacking you the whole time, up to 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, keeping this secret that you clearly healed from. And now you see what they did it for, to destroy your foundation everywhere. Now, that's like, to me, when I see that, your four corners, your mind. I'm dead serious what I'm saying. Your soul. Your life. All to trigger self-doubt and self-doubt to cause some shutdown in your entire psyche, as you hear the dog, in your entire psyche, that you would shut down and not know about what it was that they were planning to take away from you without your knowing that already belongs to you by stealing your identity. Becoming you, the man in the iron mask. This is what I'm telling you. Some shit like that is what all of these people are doing. They all fucking know about it, and it's over money that finally possessed them. When I see this, I'm looking at the Hobbit. When they went to the mountain and he was down there talking about we should bring the gold deeper while the castle was being attacked. The castle was being attacked, and this motherfucker in a vault room with a thing full of gold telling his people we got to move the gold deeper. That motherfucker he lost himself. That's why he had dragon sickness. That's why something happened and he came back to his senses. The spell was broke. It was a curse. Somehow, if you look at it spiritually, he broke a spiritual curse that was handed to his granddaddy. Remember, it got his fucking daddy. It got his granddaddy. They had the damn motherfucking sickness that you broke. Because you went within. Called on the living God. I'm telling you what I'm seeing. And he showed you exactly what I'm telling you. They got literally some form of a spiritual dragon sickness, and it has to do with this Ace of Pentacles. I'm telling you, that belongs to you. And they see that you have the strength, that you're protected. They see you're protected. They wanted to destroy your protection. They didn't even think you had protection, but you're protected. Or this wouldn't be happening. And now you see who's attacking you, because it was in the upright when I looked at it. So, if you want to put it scripture, this is the freaking parable of the vineyard. He sent his son, and then they say, hey, they all gathered together, say, hey, let's get rid of him because he's the heir, and then we can take it and split it amongst ourselves. That's a parable in the Bible. This is what I'm showing. This is what this is. And this one's face down, so that's the end of it. I'll keep it like that. That's the end, man. How long will we at? 21 minutes? Go. I can't. Any other deeper is like. That should be deep enough for somebody to understand this, what's actually going on. 4, 5, 6, just saying, it's up there. I don't care. 4, 5, 6. If somebody was trying to mess up the you put together the pieces. The numbers are mixed, but you turned it into 4, 5, 6.